Students, in this video we will discuss function with arguments and without a return type. So we already discussed that what is a function. What is a function? It is a subprogram which performs a specific task. Then in the previous video we have seen with no arguments and no return type. That is, while calling we will not pass any arguments and that function will not return any value. Now in this video we will focus on with a return type and with arguments, that is without a return type and with arguments. Okay, so the previous videos link I will be shared in the description. So if you have not watched that video, you can watch by using the link one. Now here the syntax for this function, that is with arguments and without a return type. What is the syntax? Here without a return type represents the return type is void, meaning it will not return any value. Then we have a function name, that is the name of the function. The arguments, that is the data type, that is type of the variable, comma variable 1, then data type, then variable 2. In this way you can have n number of variables, that is required number of variables we will use. This is the syntax for a function. The definition of the function we will write. Here what happens is, while calling the function, so the number of arguments this function takes, that many arguments will be passed. The function definition will receive these values, it will process and it will display the result. Now let us see the example for this function. Here example, void sum int x comma int y. So here the name of the function is sum. It will perform the operation sum, that is on which numbers it has to perform. The user will pass two numbers. The first number will be stored in x and the second number will be stored in y. It will find the sum of those two numbers and the result will be displayed onto the screen. Okay, now let us see one example how to find sum of two numbers using function with arguments. Now here this is a function with arguments. Now let us see, first include the header file stdio.h, then the main function int main, then we have return at the end of the main, return main. First let me write the function declaration. It is void, name of the function is sum. This will take two parameters, int x comma y, then end with semicolon. So this part we call it as function declaration or function prototype or function header. Now in the function definition, void sum of int x comma int y. Now declare one variable int result. So result equal to x plus y. Result equal to x plus y. Then display that result onto the screen. Sum equal to %d/n comma result. So this is the function. Now save your program. Now from the main function we need to call this function by passing two numbers, sum of 10 comma 20, end with semicolon. So here when you call this function, what happens is, so from this function, so from the function call, from the main function, when we call the function, control jumps to the called function or the function definition. Control jumps to the function definition. So 10 will be stored in x and 20 will be stored in y. That is the first parameter while calling the function will be stored in this. The second parameter will be copied to this. So whatever the values we pass while calling the function, these are called as actual parameters. The values what we pass while calling the function are called as actual parameters. And the function definition, whatever the variables are there, those are called as formal parameters. So actual parameters means the values what we pass while calling the function are called as actual parameters. Then these are in the function definition, whatever it receives, they are formal parameters. Now let us run this program, compile and run the program. Now you can see here it displays the output sum equal to 30. But now what I want is, I want to show you that x contains 10 and y contains 20. So in order to see that, here you can display printf value of x equal to %d/n, x. Then similarly you can display here printf value of y equal to %d/n, y value can display. Now save your program, compile and run the program. Now one very important point I want to show you. How many arguments this function definition will take? 2 arguments. But while calling the function, I will pass 3 arguments. So if you pass more number of arguments than the function takes, it generates an error message. So while calling the function, you need to pass the exact number of arguments the function takes. That is, what is the error it has generated? Too many arguments. Too many arguments. That is, it takes 2, so we should pass only 2. If you try to pass 3, it gives error message. Now pass only 2. Now compile and run, it displays the result. Suppose what happens if you pass only 1? It takes 2, but we are trying to pass only 1 argument. Now save your program, compile and run. It also generates error message, too few arguments to call this particular function. That is, while calling the function, you should not pass less number of arguments or more number of arguments. You have to pass the exact number of arguments the function takes. That is, function with arguments. Now here, every time it is taking 10 and 20 only. Instead of that, I want to accept from the user. Yes, if you want, you can accept from the user. Int a, b, then ask the user to enter 2 numbers. That is printf, enter 2 numbers, accept 2 numbers from the user. Then whatever the numbers user enters, store those values in the variable. Scanf %d, ampersand a, ampersand b. Then while calling the function, now you can pass a and b. First time what happens? 10 and 20 will be stored. Second time a value will be copied to x, b value will be copied to y. Now here a and b are called as actual parameters. This x and y are called as formal parameters. Okay. Now save your program, then compile and run the program. So enter 2 numbers 33 and 44. Now run your program. So accepted values, values will be sent to the function. So it stores in x and y, displays the sum. Okay. So thank you for watching. See you in next video.